Hi again, this is Patrick from asexualgroups.com, and so this video is going to walk you through some of the steps that are more or less suggestions on how to build your own asexual group in your local community, in your area that you live. And so I'm going to take some time to elaborate on some of the steps, walk you through some of them, give you some more tips and pointers along the way that will help you make a decision on whether or not this is for you or is something that might work good for you. So we're going to go ahead and start here with do I have what it takes? So as you scroll down, I'm going to go through each step here one by one as quickly as possible. We're going to go ahead and start with available time off 1 to 2 times per month. This more or less is pretty easy for most people, but if you're busy with a lot of other obligations such as other extracurricular activities, or if you have a large family, say you're married with children, or you have other community services that you need to do, make sure that you do have at least a day to where you can set aside to host a meetup once a month, and it's because it's consistent, and it shows that you can be there for people on a regular basis, and it keeps the morale and the enthusiasm in the community in your group strong and alive. So just make sure you have some basic time off, nothing major. And then some basic knowledge of your city's geographical layout, suburbs, etc. Basically what this is general knowledge about your city. Do you live clear over here on the east side of town, and you are not really a centralized area, so you need to figure out eventually where everybody's going to be from, so that way you might be able to schedule a meetup location, or pick a meetup location in a more centralized area than where you live. And then when people answer surveys to where it is that they live, you have an idea where these places are. You don't want to have somebody mention that they're from Scottsdale and you haven't the foggiest notion where Scottsdale's at. So if you're not quite familiar with your city yet, maybe you're new to your area, bust out Google Maps, a road atlas. Get familiarized with your metro area a little bit, just because it will help in the long run. Means of transportation and carpooling. This is essential at first because there are a lot of people who, for some reason, don't have cars. Say they're university students. They don't have a working vehicle right now. They're still saving up to buy one. And so it's important that they get included in these meetups that you'd like to host. So if you have a vehicle of your own, it's pretty cool, because you might be able to go and pick up some of these people and carpool with them to and from meetups. Sure, you can ask them for gas money, just like anybody would. I don't see any reason why that'd be unreasonable. And then as far as extra funds available in your budget, just having extra money to go out to eat once a month can add up. The extra gas that's going to take to go to and from these meetups, possibly picking people up along the way, buying little buttons like this, or the flags I have above me here. That all adds up over time. Sure, it's only a few dollars here and a few dollars there, but do you have the extra money? It's something that can be important at first. But we're not looking for millionaires, that's for sure. Available computer and internet access. This is essential to build your community from the ground up, especially online. Whether you have a laptop, a tablet, a desktop, it doesn't matter. Have some sort of access to the online world. It's important to get online as much as possible, to stay in touch with your group members as you get them, and That way you can ask questions and get to know people more, you know, personally. And you can also share pictures and spread and promote awareness about your particular group in your area, as well as let me know about your new asexual group so I can catalog it here on the site. So then we're going to scroll down here to available and open to all social media sites to help stay in contact with people. Okay, this is something that I run into a little bit of an issue with some people. They're a little skittish about Facebook. They're a little skittish about meetup.com, or they don't like Twitter, or it's something or another. And that's fine. Everybody has their preferences. I know my preference is Facebook. I know people that prefer Twitter. But as a meetup group host, it's pretty important, especially at first, that you allow yourself to be on all of them. And here's why. You want to promote your group in every nook and cranny and every little site possible, especially at first, because people don't know about you yet. They're new to the asexual community, or they're new to your area, and they want to do some Google searches and find people in your area, or they want to go to asexualgroups.com and they want to find an asexual group and meetup group in their local area. And they want to have different options available to them. They may have some skittish reasons why they don't like Facebook or Meetup or Twitter or Google Plus, etc. And let them be picky about it. But you need to try to be on all of them at first. You need to open the door to having forums and discussion groups and all of the different things that go along with promoting your awareness that you actually exist as a group. So try to overcome some of those anxiety issues. If you don't quite like Facebook, just create some sort of weird name or something, I guess, and just kind of, you know, go with the flow on that. If you can read between the lines. And then as far as your organizational skills, it's essential, just because you know, you want to try to make sure you stay planned ahead. You want to make sure to look ahead at some of the meetup locations in your geographical area. You want to make sure that it's not a busy place and too small to where when everybody gets there, they don't have a place to sit. You want to make sure that everybody has room to sit. They can hear each other, preferably in a circular fashion to where people can hear each other speak comfortably and not have to worry about Joe Schmo next to them eavesdropping in every little word that they're saying in every discussion. You want to make sure it's, you know, in a safe neighborhood. You want to make sure to plan these events on regular monthly events and stuff, so and dates. So basically, you want to have some sort of organizational skills. You also want to be able to help determine on where everybody lives, so that way people aren't driving from, you know, the northwest area clear to the southeast area just because you live there, but everybody else lives everywhere else. So you want to figure out if the majority of the people live in this, say, west side or east side. You might want to pick that area at first because that's where your original base is. But as time goes on and your group gets bigger in population, you may want to take a second poll and figure out where everybody lives and maybe move your meetup location to a more centralized area. So again, you know, use some sort of planning skills and some sort of structure to help build that. And leadership and motivational skills. Public speaking, you don't want to be a shy person. It's okay if you're shy a little bit. I know everybody starts off a little shy or camera shy or people shy just in front of large groups of strangers they don't know. That's fine. But you want to try to be at least a little bit more outgoing or upbeat if you can, and let people, follow your lead. You don't want to be the one that's scared, because if you're scared, everybody else is going to get the vibe that they need to be scared. So you want to go into it with some sort of confidence, and be the leader of the asexual community in your area. You definitely want to put yourself out there to show that it is okay to be asexual, and that there's nothing wrong with us, and we're not broken, and you want to definitely show and give support to your members as much as possible. They're going to eventually be your friend, and you don't want to let them down. So definitely try to step your game up a little bit. It may take some practice, it may take some time, but that's okay. And then able to maintain long-term dedication. It's really easy to get discouraged or have the wind knocked out of your sails. You're not going to make everybody happy in the group. There's going to be some people that don't like you. There's going to be a lot of people that love you or like you. And but you want to try to take the good with the bad. You want to definitely stay focused. You don't want to get discouraged just because this person didn't have a good time, or this person decides they're not asexual anymore, or whatever it is. Make sure that you just stay with them, and as far as a friendship goes, let them know that it's okay, and try to just stay focused on the agenda at hand, which is to continue building your group from the ground up, raise a local awareness of asexuality in your area, and build friendships. If one or two people drop out of the group, it's not the end of the world. For every one or two that drop out, 5 or 6 more join in. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. I would just take energy and move forward, okay? And as far as creative thinking and goal-oriented, you definitely want to share some ideas with your group. You want to let them chime in with some ideas. You want to discuss some group goals for your group in your community. You want to figure out, do we want to someday march into Pride? Do we want to just hang out and eat cake? Do we want to just play board games? What is it that are some goals in mind for your group? Do you guys want to someday, hand out flyers or, down at Pride events and stuff about asexuality? Like this one here, I have business cards for my group, and I hand out, awareness this way, and it has the definition of asexuality right here on the back of the card. Is that one of the goals? So you have all sorts of different options there. Just sound some of these ideas off with your group members. Write some notes down. Figure out what it is that people want to do. They may not know yet. As time goes on, don't be afraid to keep asking that question. And just try to think of some new ideas as time goes on. You want to be definitely a go-getter when it comes to dealing with outside parties and communities, especially the LGBT pride groups and pride centers. You want to be able to pick up the phone comfortably and talk to your local pride areas, pride centers and stuff, and ask them questions. Tell them about your group. Tell them about asexuality. Tell them that you would like them to help you spread awareness about asexuality in your area, and see what they have to say. The worst they can say is no, but more than likely they're not going to. More than likely they're just they're misunderstood, and you and some group members might need to go down to your local pride center and sit and discuss some common ground with the LGBT group versus asexuality, and just explain to them that, hey, a large percentage of asexuals are fighting the same human right issues that the LGBT group is, such as equal gay marriage rights and things like that. There's pan romantics, bi romantics, homo romantics, etc. that are in possible relationships that eventually they want to get married, and they're still fighting for the same rights that the regular sexual people in the minority groups are. So it's definitely essential that you're a go-getter. Put yourself out there, and don't be afraid. Be a genuine friend and a great listener. I mean, everybody has been pretty nice to me. I'm nice to them. Pretty much. You give and take equally in your group. If you're a bad person, then obviously you're not going to get very good positive response. Just try to be a good person. Try to smile a lot. Show confidence. Be a good listener, and take into consideration what everybody has to say. If some people are uncomfortable with large groups, remember who those people are, and don't force them into such heavily populated meetup groups next time or something like that. Or if people want to get hands-on and help you, then let them. It's a group effort. And then another thing too is able to accept constructive criticism. There's going to be a lot of people that, not necessarily a lot, but some people are going to criticize, and they're going to split hairs, and they're going to say, well, why isn't this done this way, or we should do this, or I wish you could have done this a little better, or whatever. And we're all mostly working people, and we have a lot of things going on, even if we're not holding jobs. We have a house to run, and we have things we have to do, besides just run an asexual community group. Okay, so what little time that we have to work on these things, is it. And sometimes it takes a while to perfect some of the things that happen and go on inside your group. But it's okay for people to point these things out. You can also ask them to help you make it better. If they have some great ideas to improve some things, then let them. But at the same time, don't take it to heart. They're only trying to put the group at the number one interest in mind, and trying to improve some things. So just don't take it too personal if you can. Works well with others on group projects and volunteer work. So again, you just want to make sure you're open to new ideas, and you're willing to work side by side with some new people, and work on some projects, and whether it's making posters, or whether it's marching in the Pride group, or the Pride marches and things, or going down to the AIDS walk in your area, and doing things like that together. You definitely want to work well with these people, because a lot of that can go a long way. Able to accept the possibility of being outed by the press during public and social events. This is something you really want to stop and think long and hard about. Do you have a job that you're about to get a promotion at, or a raise, or are you are you attending university, and you have a bunch of classmates that may see you marching down the streets of wherever, and you're waving an asexual flag, and you are wearing ace pride buttons and whatever, and you've got these posters and all that stuff that talk about asexuality, or you end up on the news, or you end up in the paper, or you end up on a website, or they see a YouTube video that you posted, they see your name somewhere. Is it going to cause conflict at your work or at your school? With your family and friends too. I've lost a couple of friends along the way. It's not the end of the world, because I gained over 100 more with every loss. So it's really not that big of a deal. It may sound scary at first, but as far as your friends and family, eventually they're going to just get over it. But as far as your your coworkers and classmates, you may want to stop and just think a little bit longer and hard about it. If you're just one of those people like me who just doesn't care about what other people think as far as my sexual orientation goes, then so be it, and more power to you, ace pride, because seriously, there really isn't anything wrong with what we're doing. I don't see why anybody would hate us, but I'm sure there are a few people out there that do. So again, you might want to just stop and just think about that for 1 second. Usually it's just a bunch of misunderstanding anyway. Keeping an open mind and willing to embrace all cultural, political, religious, gender, and romantic orientation differences and opinions. More or less what this is there's going to be members of your group that are going to join that are from all walks of life. They may be from a different part of the world. They may have grown up differently than you. They may have a different political stance or a different religion than you. That's okay. Embrace all of that difference and just let that be one big positive thing that's going on in your group. Because seriously, the more opinions you can get, the better. And it's at the end of the day, it has nothing to do with your race or religion or your political stance. It's about being there for each other, okay, and trying to move forward in asexual awareness and just being there for each other and understand each other and what asexuality means. So again, at the end of the day, it has nothing to do with cultural differences and religions. So make sure you definitely include everybody equally, and make sure that nobody feels, slighted or deprived in your group, okay? Because really, we're all the same in the inside. We're all the same, okay? And we're all aces. So just be there for each other. And then your last step under the self checklist here would be able to maintain a safe space environment for your members that focuses on keeping information and discussions private and confidential at all times. This is very crucial. This is probably the most important one. If people cannot come to your meetup groups and events and work on projects together and have discussions that are private and confidential, and they may be telling you some of their deepest, darkest secrets that they've ever shared with anybody, okay? You don't want to make them feel like you're going to go and run off and tell the world about what they just said. You don't want to gossip to any other members of your group about what they talked about. You don't want to announce things on Facebook or on any other social media forums and things about what they talked about. What they say in confidence needs to stay right there. If they feel like talking about it themselves online or with other, let them be the one. You don't have the place to do that. And I just want to make sure that we emphasize what safe space means, and that means keeping things private, keeping things confidential. People want to have trust in who it is that they're talking to, and the members in the group. Okay, so again, it's very, very important. And then after you're done with that, and you go through this self checklist and go, wow, that's a lot to absorb. That's a lot of information. Am I really ready for this? It sounds scary. Well, it really isn't. And then none of those are. You don't have to have a green check mark next to every little thing that we just talked about. These are just suggestions. These are ideas. These are just things that you need to just maybe stop and have a second thought about and go, I don't know, or yeah, I can do that. That sounds easy enough. Okay, so hopefully it's easy enough, and you decide that you